You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Tuesday, March 25th. And in our top story, in Las Vegas, a 32-year-old man woke up repeatedly upset with his father, and following an argument, the son reportedly killed his father. News 25 has this tragic story.
On March 24, 2025, at approximately 7:33 a.m., the Las Vegas Metro Police Department Communications received a call from a female stating her brother had stabbed her father in the 1900 block of Rexford Drive. Patrol officers arrived and took 32-year-old Carlos Magana into custody in front of the residence. Officers then went inside the residence and located a male suffering from an apparent stab wound. Medical personnel arrived and pronounced the victim deceased at the scene. Homicide detectives were notified and responded to the scene. During the investigation, they learned Magana woke up upset with his father and confronted him. During the argument, Magana produced a knife and stabbed his father multiple times. Magana was arrested and booked into the Clark County Detention Center for open murder with a deadly weapon. Anyone with any information about this incident is urged to contact the LVMPD Homicide Section by phone at 702-828-3521, or to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 702-385-5555.
And in national news, the Trump administration admits to accidentally sending sensitive U.S. military war plans to a civilian journalist through an encrypted group chat. Officials are now addressing that security breach and its potential implications.
The Trump administration confirmed on Monday that it mistakenly sent sensitive military information about U.S. war plans to a civilian journalist via an encrypted group chat. According to the report, the accidental disclosure involved classified war strategies, which were inadvertently forwarded to Jeffrey Goldberg, editor-in-chief at The Atlantic. Goldberg claimed in a bombshell report he made on The Atlantic, saying he had been added to the group chat via an encrypted messaging app called Signal, and it included members' names named J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, and Michael Waltz. The members of the chat reportedly discussed plans to attack the Houthi terrorist group, which had began attacking Israeli ships over the Jewish state war with Hamas. Goldberg said, "I had very strong doubts that this text group would be real because I could not believe that the national security leadership of the United States would communicate on Signal about imminent war plans." He goes on to say, "I also could not believe that the national security advisor to the president would be so reckless as to include the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic in such discussions with senior U.S. officials up to and including the vice president." Fox News spoke with Hegseth earlier today.
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. I would love to comment on the Houthi campaign because of the skill and courage of our troops. I've monitored it very closely from the beginning. And you see, we've been managing 4 years of deferred maintenance under the Trump administration. Our troops, our sailors were getting shot at as targets. Our ships couldn't sail through. And when they did shoot back, it was purely defensively or at shacks in Yemen.
The Department of Defense and other relevant agencies are expected to review the situation and access any potential security risks that are stemming from this disclosure. Here is what President Trump has to say about this breach.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
With the Houthis.
The Houthis? You mean the attack on the Houthis? Right. Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective. I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time. Anybody else?
Now it's that time of our newscast where our Las Vegas correspondent Maria Centers joins us from the city with the latest news from Nellis Air Force Base.
From day to night, Red Flag Nellis 25-2 was in full force last week. The multinational military combat readiness exercise included 15 units from the U.S. Air Force, U.S. Marine Corps, United Arab Emirates Air Force, Royal Saudi Air Force, and the Turkish Air Force. We are now joined by U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Mitchell Webb, showcasing how the 140th Maintenance Group use their specialized skills in real-world training scenarios.
Our goal is to practice all the combat readiness that we need to, different pilot training, working in with different aircraft, different airframes in different countries. We just had to download and upload an aircraft because it came off the flying schedule. So anytime that happens, certain munitions will have to be moved so that the next aircraft can be ready for the flight.
Weapons specialists from the 140th Maintenance Group were put to the test on short notice when tasked with moving weapons from one aircraft to another.
The last minute impromptu, we had to change up the configuration of an aircraft, move the munitions to a different one, take them off of an aircraft so that that aircraft can go in for maintenance. All of our training in weapons is mostly focused on combat. We're one of the only AFSCs that is directly combat driven, being weapons troops. That is all that we train for. In a real world situation, if an aircraft goes down and those munitions have to move, we need to do it quickly so that the backup aircraft can get in the air immediately and get the mission done.
The exercise occurred on base last week, marking Red Flag's 50th anniversary.
Red Flag is a super great opportunity for us to practice our combat readiness, to practice our efficiency, to get an actual mission done against aggressor aircraft, and keep us as weapons troops on our toes to make sure that we know if something happens at a moment's notice, we can get the job done.
Red Flag focuses on training joint force operations and command and control while boosting collaborative combat efforts among joint and interagency partners.
So today we moved 5 different weapons in about 10 minutes from one aircraft to another. In an actual combat situation, that time can go even lower than that, but that is a good time.
Nellis Air Force Base wrapped up exercise Red Flag 25-2 this past Friday. Reporting from Old Las Vegas, I'm Maria Centers for News 25.
And stay tuned. After this break, we have an exclusive interview with Silver State Governor Lombardo. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, continuing our coverage of the Nye County Republican Lincoln Day dinner, News 25 now gives you an exclusive interview with Nevada's Governor Joe Lombardo.
We're here with Governor Joe Lombardo. Thank you for coming down to Nye County and being on KPVM television. I know it's not like your appearance on Cops a few years back. Tell us why, and I asked you this last year, why it's important to come down to Nye County. Now, Clark County, demonstrably different than Nye County, your constituents. It's awful hard to try to please everybody in the whole state. How do you do it?
Well, I think it's important to see everybody in the whole state, right? Because when you talk about being the governor, you're the governor of the state of Nevada, not Clark County.
Right.
And everybody that resides within the state are as important as anybody else. And the fortunate thing for me is being a Republican governor, Nye County's very supportive. And I appreciate that. You know, it's a little bit of a battle there in Clark County.
Of course,
yeah.
Right.
And it's good to be around folks that absolutely support you.
Now, you're in session now. Last session, You had vetoed a record number of 75 bills last year. How are we coming along this year with the bills?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. There's only been 2 that's come across my desk.
Okay.
But the bill deadline just occurred, so now with the writing and the drafting and the corrections that go along with it, so they'll be finalized here in the next week or 2.
Yeah. What is your interest or non-interest in the film studio bills?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a great question. It's ambiguous at this point. There's a lot of moving parts with that, and we have to ensure that it creates the jobs that they're proposing and make sure they're long-term jobs and full-time jobs.
Right.
Because it's very difficult to justify credits to mega billion-dollar companies without the jobs that come with it on the back end. So the devil's in the details with that particular legislation.
Donald Trump, who I know you have applauded his recent decisions of many things here, and he is keeping especially this state safe with some of the things he's done.
I think he's done great, right? The only thing I would ask is that he maybe slow down a little bit so we can figure out all the nuances of those decisions. Because those decisions have a lot of unintended consequences, and we have to make sure we get through them and process them and ensure it benefits everybody as a result. But I think he's done a fantastic job. And the thing that really hits home for me with Donald Trump is he cares about America, America first. And that's important for people to realize. Because we've lost a lot of momentum over the decades and how people respect America and how America stands up its economy against any other economy. We have to get back to the old ways and ensure this is where everybody wants to live and prosper and have a wonderful life for their families.
And he's coming to UNLV by way of Georgia Tech and Memphis. UNLV has a new basketball coach. Mikey Ruhan has those deets and more in your sports report.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. Vegas Golden Knights in action right now against the Minnesota Wild. That game is in progress. Tomas Hertl, who leads the Golden Knights with 31 goals, will not be on the Vegas 3-game road trip this week because of an injury he suffered in Sunday's 4-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Former Georgia Tech and Memphis coach Josh Pastner has agreed to take over UNLV's program. 2 people with knowledge of the hiring process told the Associated Press on Monday night. The Oakland A's are working on converting Las Vegans, or are we vegans, into athletics fans with a season opener watch party at Love Lady Brewing Company on Water Street in Henderson on March 27th. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Now for more powerful news, Valley Electric Association understands that the power it delivers goes beyond just electricity. It is the lifeblood of our community, fueling homes, businesses, and the very spirit of this rural landscape in Pahrump. But what truly amplifies that power is the community itself. And so for VEA, it's more than just a phrase. It is the heart of their mission.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
What does community mean to you? To us, it means powering the lives of the members we serve. But it's more than providing energy. In a community, neighbors look out for each other, and that's what we aim to do for you because we're led by you, the members we serve, not by outside investors who are only looking to make a profit. This means we'll choose you and our community's best interest every time. For us, the power of community comes from the people who live here. That includes our employees and board members who live right here in our community. You'll see them at ball games, fall festival, and other local events. Whether we're investing in tomorrow's leaders through our youth programs and scholarships, helping you save energy at home, or volunteering to improve the lives of our neighbors, we're working hard to make this a better place to live and work. Valley Electric was created by the community for the community, and there's no place we would rather be. We love what we do because of members like you.
And don't grab that remote. When we return, we're taking another look at the Nevada Department of Highways' important role in our community. News 25 will be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, it's been a long, steady road for the Nevada Department of Highways, founded back in March 1917 with the goal of transforming the state's rough dirt roadways into what we have today. And now they're celebrating a century-long journey of infrastructure improvement. Here's part 2 of a look back at that department's history.
In 1931, a 124-foot-long tunnel was blasted through Lake Tahoe's Cave Rock to create a roadway bypassing a previously harrowing drive alongside the lakeside rock face. A traffic safety program was launched in 1936. Within 2 short years, the department's driving safety literature and programs became so popular that 12 safety committees were formed across the state to spread the word. As World War II erupted, many highway employees left to fight the war. The department's 1940 to 1942 biannual report was dedicated to those very fine young men who have left this department to go into the service of our country, and with a sincere hope that they will all return to resume their duties with the department as soon as the world is safe for decent living people. In 1956, President Eisenhower signed the Federal Highway Act to build 41,000 miles of interstate highway across the nation. Nevada then had a pivotal role in completion of the interstate system when a new section of interstate in Lovelock was completed, eliminating the last traffic signal on Interstate 80 between the Pacific and Atlantic coasts. While there had been no speed limit for decades, a speed limit law established lower speed zones on certain sections of highways in 1955. 1957. Prior, we have concentrated on what might be labeled pioneer road building, the gradual development of dirt trails 40 years ago into a 4,300-mile network of paved roads. Now, in turning our attention to the building of the modern 4-lane interstate freeways, we are entering a new and expanded phase of highway activity. In the 1960s, a hard hat and safety vest program was implemented, requiring NDOT employees to wear safety vests while working on the roadway. 1965. Future highway activity will have to meet the needs resulting from population growth and urban development. The original Las Vegas Spaghetti Bowl was completed in 1968. The interchange connected Interstate 15 to the new Crosstown Las Vegas Expressway.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look through our Lerner and Rowe weather cam at this beautiful skyscape with hot air balloons. And it's a beautiful day here in Nevada in March. Not a cloud in the sky. We'll take a closer look at our weather and temperatures after the break.
Good evening, Nevada. My name is Rory Rosell, coming to you from the Channel 25 Weather Studios and taking a look at Nevada right up in northern Nevada. Fernley seeing 80 degrees, Fallon is seeing 81, Carson City at 76, Tonopah at 74, Goldfield is also at 76 degrees, Beatty is at 86, just 10 degrees higher, Amargosa is at 90 degrees, Las Vegas is at 88 degrees, and Death Valley for the first time on our News 25, it is at 100 degrees. It is currently 86 degrees here in our beautiful paradise of Pahrump. But the high today was 88 degrees. It was sunny today, wind blowing south at 5 miles per hour, humidity 11%, and the sun rose this morning at 6:39 and is going to set tonight at 7 p.m. The humidity raises up to 21% and the wind continues to blow east at 5 miles per hour. The low tonight's going to be 57 degrees. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we will be seeing sun, but quite a bit of wind at 87 degrees. On Thursday it will be 80 degrees. Friday down to 71. On Saturday 70. Sunday back up to 71. And on Monday and Tuesday we are seeing 73-degree weather. But on Tuesday the sun completely goes away, which will be pretty nice with the low temperatures and the clouds. That's going to be it. Back to the desk. Here's Unette.
Thanks so much, Rory. And everyone, please remember to stay hydrated as those temperatures creep back up. We're on a roller coaster though, but that warm weather is right around the corner. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.